There are 5 tools that I use every single day in Mesh Machine for my hard surface modeling workflow in Blender. I'm going to show you how they all work and how useful this is going to be for your 3D modeling. Let's go. If you're brand new to hard surface modeling and want to learn our entire modeling system in under 2 weeks with about 30 to 60 minutes a day of work, like over 4,000 students have done here, click the link in the top of the description to learn more. Alright, now guys, it should be no surprise if you've been on my channel for a while, the offset cut feature. I'm going to show you why this is so powerful. If you already know about this, you can skip ahead, but I can't emphasize how useful this feature is. So when you're doing, your usual Boolean bevel-based workflow and you need to add in a bevel, for example, on a curved surface like this, let me just go ahead and add that Boolean. Now let's say I wanted to go in here and apply that Boolean and I wanted to add a bevel right around this portion right here. Now you can do that. You can press Ctrl B, or you can even add a bevel modifier, but you're going to see that it quickly falls apart, and the reason for that is pretty obvious, right? If I go in and I bevel it, we simply start overlapping with the surrounding geometry that you can see right here. So an easy solution for this would either be to use a CAD software, to use a bevel shader, or you can use something called the offset cut. Now, if you install Mesh Machine, you used to have to go in here and turn on experimental features. Let me show you real quick. Before, to actually use it, you'd have to turn this on. I believe in the newest update, you no longer need to do that. But if you're using an old version, make sure you turn on use experimental right here. Now, if I go into edge mode and I press whatever your Mesh Machine hotkey is, in my case, it is the Y key. You can map yours to something else. We're going to go here to offset cut. Now, let me quickly show you what offset does. All offset is going to do is it's going to offset an edge. Offset cut is going to do the same thing, but it's simultaneously going to eat the surrounding geometry, like you can see here. Now, you don't have to make this, super massive. Eventually, it will fall apart because you're hurting the curvature. But, something right around here is going to be good. And then you're going to have what I call a buffer to actually add in your bevels. You can add a manual destructive bevel, or you should have space here to add in your bevel modifier, just like that. Now, you may have seen a hint of number 2, my second most favorite feature. Let me undo this real quick. So let's say, for example, I had, a bit of a mess like this, and I wanted to go in and select this outer portion right here, right? Now, I could Alt and Shift click, and it's probably not going to work, as you can see here. The reason it doesn't know what to select is because of these n-gons and how the edges are flowing here. So one of my favorite features is the L-Select tool. If you select one edge here, you go to your Mesh Machine menu, and then you go here to Select, L-Select. This will basically select a loop of edges based on this angle threshold right here. So the default 60, usually that's good enough. Alternatively, this is a little bit quicker, you can select one edge and then you can alt click on that same exact edge and it's going to do the same exact operation. That'll activate the L select feature as well. So instead of going in here and control clicking around, you can just go in, select one edge, alt click the same edge, and then maybe you can combine that with an offset cut here as an example. Alright, the next one I want to show you here, this is a little bit more than one feature, it's kind of a combination of features, but I want to show you the unbevel features inside a Mesh Machine here. Now usually in Blender, vanilla, you can't do this, you'd have to do it in like a CAD software, but here in Mesh Machine, what you can actually do here is you can select a bevel kind of like this. You don't have to select the whole thing. And then you can actually go into your Mesh Machine menu and you can go to Unfuse. What that's going to do is it's going to turn the bevel, or otherwise called a fillet with multiple segments, into a chamfer here. Now alternatively, you can use the unbevel feature, which will literally just unbevel it. So unbevel will just turn it into a hard edge, and unfuse will just turn that into a chamfer there. So I could actually go here to unbevel, and then I could go to this bevel as well, and then unbevel that. Alternatively, I could go in, I could go to unfuse, and then maybe here for this area, I could just go to, unbevel. And now I have full control if I want to undo bevels later on, which you normally can't do inside of vanilla Blender. And then of course, if you want to undo a chamfer is just a one segment, bevel. You can go here to unchamfer and do that. I could go here to unchamfer and do that. And although I want to add this as like a third thing in the video, I think we should just kind of combine all of this together. You can alternatively go in here and you can also change the width if you want to change the width of your bevels as well. Very cool stuff and very easy solution. Now, before we continue, guys, we don't have any sort of official training or course on Mesh Machine because it's such a simple tool, but we do have many tutorials on this if you want to learn these a bit deeper. But before we continue, if you want to learn our full hard surface modeling workflow with add-ons, I would recommend our Hard Ops and Box Cutter course. That'll take you through all the tools and how to use it in a practical sense. And if you're more new to Blender and you want to learn the basics of hard surface in under 2 weeks, you can check out our accelerator program in the link in the description. We have tons of proof to show that this training works and gets you results very quickly. So make sure you check that out in the link in the description. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is pretty cool as well. So let's say I wanted to take a chamfer right here or any sort of bevel, and I wanted to make the bevel a bit more of a variable radius fillet. I made a video on this recently. What you can actually do here is you can go in and you can go to change width, but this time you can actually press the T key to taper it. So imagine I can go in here, I can press the T key to taper, or I can press the F key to flip that taper. And now all I have to do, remember we used the unfuse earlier, what I can actually do here is just go to refuse, and then let's make sure this is selected right here. Not refuse, I apologize. The regular fuse right here is the one we're going to be using. We're going to click on that, and that's going to turn it into a regular bevel. So it's going to go from a chamfer here into a regular bevel, and it's going to give you this nice variable width right here, right on your model. And usually, like I said, you cannot do this in vanilla Blender. So once again, you can go here to the change width feature. You can, flip this. You can press the F key to flip it. You can press T to turn off the taper. And again, you would just go in there, and then you could combine that with something like the fuse key, which will turn that into a bevel. And again, everything works like I showed you before. You can still, unfuse this. You can still unbevel this, and you can still, get in here and change the width if you'd like to do that. Now, the final feature I want to show you here is the plug feature. And you need to make sure you're in object mode for this or it's not going to work. So we're going to go into the plugs feature here by going into the Mesh Machine menu. I have a custom key. Again, you can change your key to whatever you want. I'll just quickly show you here for reference. You just go in and you can change the key maps right here. I'm personally using the Y key because the default one conflicts with hard ops. Anyways, we're going to just go into the Mesh Machine menu here. You're going to see an option here for plug libraries. All plugs are, guys, they're just preset booleans essentially. You can imagine if you look at this shape right here, you could model that in manually, right? But it's a waste of time. It's going to take too long. So instead, you can just select that. It's going to be like a preset built-in model. It's like a already built and assembled, as you can see. Then what I can do is I can, rotate that, can scale that down, maybe place that right there. And then if I shift click on the object and then go back into the Mesh Machine menu, it's very easy. All I need to do here is go to plug, and it's going to literally plug it into the mesh, I guess you could say. It's just a Boolean operation, guys. It basically shrink wraps it onto the object and then runs like a Boolean on it. And you're going to have this result right here. So this is obviously a bit different than decals because this is real physical geometry, right? You can literally go in and edit it, whereas with decals, those are like images with parallax mapping. So this is very useful. We'll just do one more here for demonstration. I could go in and maybe add in something like this, right? Just go in, shift click, go to plug, and there you go. Now, sometimes it glitches a little bit, and if I'm not mistaken, you can just turn that on and it should remove those issues. Now I do want to show you real quick, just a little bonus to the video. Technically it's done, but I don't want to end off without showing you this. So if I go into this matte cap, you're going to see the shading is just messed up. It's awful around here. And obviously that's because no surprise, we have a boolean on a curved surface here, right? We actually go in depth into why this occurs and why it happens in our accelerator program. We have a specific section on shading, so if you want to learn more about that, again, linked in the description. But if you want to fix this very easily, there's a few different ways to do it. I'm going to show you 2 techniques as a bonus here on this video, okay? First one is to just use another sphere. It has to match the curvature pretty much perfectly. In this case, I can just go in. It's an easy example because I already, have a sphere here. But I can go in, I can just rename this to normal transfer. You can name this whatever you want. We can hide that with the H key. And then check this out, guys. What I can do is I can actually go in, use the L select feature I showed you earlier, expand the selection a few times, and then I could maybe deselect this portion. Actually, what'll probably be easier is for me to go in like this, and then right click to mark a seam, and then I can just press the L key here and press Control minus to select less a few times, and then invert that selection there. And I probably overcomplicated that, but just Shift L to get rid of that. It's just like the quickest way to select this patch right here. Maybe I did an extra step, I don't know. Doesn't matter. What we're going to do here is we're going to go to a vertex group. We're going to assign it. You can skip this part if you've seen this in tutorials before, but all we're going to do is select that area with the n-gons on the curved surface, right? You can see that selected right here. And all I really need to do at this point, let me just go into the mat cap. I'm going to go to normals, not normals, edit, data transfer. We're going to go to the object, which is our normal transfer, that sphere right here. You can see the shading on that one is very clean. So we're going to transfer that over. Then we're going to go to the vertex group that we just made. Then we're just going to go to face corner data, custom normals, and then the projected face interpolated. And then you're going to have perfect shading right there on the sphere, even though we have, a mess of geometry right here. So very cool, very easy way. Obviously, that's mainly good for rendering. However, if you were to use this as a game asset, you can export this with those custom normals. So this will actually work outside of Blender, which is very cool as well, right? So pretty cool stuff. Now, the simpler way, which we actually kind of did right here, if I just go in, you're going to see the shading is actually fine on this one, even though we have a mess here. So basically what you do, it's a lot easier. I just wanted to show you the alternative solution so you understand what's going on. What I can actually do here is I can go to the plug library, and then we'll just position this. We'll go in, plug, and then literally all you have to do, guys, it's super simple. Let me just go back here into this one. Make sure that normal transfer is turned on. You can see it's a mess, but when I turn that normal transfer feature on, it does this automatically for you. So this is why, you should use add-ons like this, because it saves you a ton of clicks and it just makes the workflow, significantly easier here. So that's it, guys. Those are my 5 favorite tips to use with Mesh Machine. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully you enjoy these quick, shorter tutorials. Obviously, there's a lot more you can do with this plugin, but this is about 90% of what I use it for personally. Now, guys, if you want to learn our full hard surface modeling workflow, start to finish in under 2 weeks with about 30 to 60 minutes a day, make sure you grab our accelerator program. This is basically the #1 program for hard surface modeling at this point. I have not seen anything else out there with the amount of proof and testimonials we have. So if you don't believe me, just see what people are creating. We can get you those results again very, very quickly in under 2 weeks. Just go to the link in the top of the description, enroll in the program, and we'll get you very proficient at this stuff in about 2 weeks of time. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.